Shoulder charges are awful. Like, they're only good for movement, which is a W, like I said, but you gotta play this game how it wasn't intended. And that's the biggest problem there when it comes to how Destiny PvP has molded itself, or just Destiny as a whole when it comes to the Titan class. In regards to shoulder charge specifically, we have Shield Bash, we have Hammer Strike, and we have Seismic Strike. Now, in general, all these moves are really good movement techs, but what ended up happening, which was really frustrating, is that people started complaining that people were using shoulder charges as a movement tech. So Bungie made it to where if you attempt to use it as a movement tech, you lose a percentage of your melee rather than being able to use it, because the whole reason why people started using it as a movement tech is because unless you're wearing Paragon Greaves, shoulder charge is horrible. Shoulder charge's animation is horrible. Shoulder charge's damage is horrible.
It's horrible. Horrible. Just horrible.
The effect that it does to the opponent really isn't that substantial. Like, this suppression you're supposed to get from Shield Bash, inconsistent as all hell. The blinding effect that you're supposed to get from Seismic Strike really isn't that potent and doesn't really do enough to benefit you. And with Hammer Strike, the ignition and scorch damage on top of the initial melee damage really isn't substantial enough to where it matters. And then at the end of the melee's animation, you're probably dead because your opponent has had time to use a shotgun, use a fusion rifle, melee you in some cases, and just kill you before you can react at all, unless you're wearing a pair of boots.
Boots, yes, definitely the boots.
And it bothers me that we went through this whole thing back during Beyond Light where we nerfed shoulder charge. We've seen no return to form since then. And then when people were like, well, it's dog water, let's use it as a movement tech, people were like, oh, we don't like that you're using it as a movement tech, Bungie nerf it. And now it's not even really a good movement tech. I would have been totally okay with Bungie extending the longer you needed to run for it to activate, and similar to Juggernaut, making it to where you couldn't just run into a wall to activate it. But they didn't even attempt that. They just said, it's nerfed. And it bothers the hell out of me to where Warlocks are able to do so much when it comes to movement with things like Icarus Dash and Lightning Surge. In terms of damage, Lightning Surge is still powerful. You have all the different melees that Hunters can do that are super powerful. And I just find it very frustrating that Titans are just left with nothing. So let me know what y'all think. I think this is stupid.